Santham Academy. Welcome to Digital Kaksha. To get updates on new videos, click the subscribe button and the bell icon.
We have to study about the potential due to an electric dipole. In the diagram, point A and point B, there are two charges kept. Let us take this charge to be minus Q, and at point B, the charge is plus Q. So, this minus Q and plus Q is forming the dipole, and here the charges are separated by the total distance 2a. O is the midpoint of the dipole, and due to this dipole, we are supposed to calculate the potential at point P. The distance of point P from the midpoint of the dipole is taken as R. The point P is in such a way that OP is considered to be, or R is considered to be, the position vector, and the direction of the dipole moment of this dipole is directed from minus Q to plus Q. So we can say that here in this case the theta is the angle which is formed between the dipole moment and the position vector. Also, the distance of point P from the charge plus Q is taken as R1, and the distance of point P from the charge minus Q is taken as R2. So this is what we have understood the diagram. Now we know that the potential at P will be the algebraic sum of the potential due to the plus Q and the minus Q charges. When we will substitute the values of the formula, we will get the value of V is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R1, where R1 is the distance between Q and P, minus, since here the potential it is a scalar quantity, so we have already discussed previously that due to the negative charge, the potential will be negative. So here it is minus Q upon R2. Here the distances R1 and R2 are to be calculated by using the cosine formula. The cosine formula is applicable in the diagram in two triangles. When we will consider the triangle BOP, the angle is here theta, so the cosine formula is applied to get the value of R1 square, and is given as R square plus A square minus 2RA cos theta. Whereas the value of R2 square is obtained by the triangle POA. In this triangle POA, this angle is equal to 180 degree minus theta. So when we will apply the cosine formula in this triangle to get the value of R2 square, it will be given as R square plus A square minus 2RA cos of 180 degree minus theta. This cosine formula is needed here to get the values of R1 and R2, which are to be substituted in the equation number 1. Now from this equation number 2, I can write the value of R1 as R square plus A square minus 2RA cos theta to the power half. From here I can take the value of R common. So after taking this R here, the formula can be written as 1 plus A square upon R square minus 2A upon R cos theta to the power half. Since in the equation 1, we need the value of 1 upon R1. In order to get 1 upon R1, now I have to take the reciprocal. Along with that, here we are getting the 3 terms in the bracket. From the diagram also we are getting the idea that the distance A is very less as compared to the distance R. Because of this reason, the term A square upon R square will be ignored in this step. So, in the next step, in order to get the value of 1 upon R1, I will get the expression as 1 upon R. Inside the bracket, 1 minus 2A upon R cos theta to the power minus 1 by 2. Now, here in order to solve this equation further, we will be using the concept of binomial theorem, according to which the formula is 1 plus x to the power n is equal to 1 plus nx, and there are many more terms. But we need the values of first 2 terms. Now in this case, the value of n is minus 1 upon 2, and this complete is representing the value of x. So when I will be using this binomial theorem formula in this equation, I will get the value of 1 upon R1 to be equal to 1 upon R, and 1 minus and minus will become plus, this 1 upon 2 and this 2. So both these 2's, they will be cancelling out each other. So ultimately I will be getting plus A upon R cos theta. So this way, the value of 1 upon R1 is equal to 1 upon R plus A upon R square cos theta. In order to get the value of R2 and then 1 upon R2, in this case in equation number 3, let us understand first what will be the changes when in equation 2 the angle theta is replaced by the angle 180 degree minus theta. The value of cos 180 degree minus theta is minus of cos theta. So this minus and this minus will become plus. So there will be a change of the sign, and now on the basis of symmetry, by symmetry, here I am writing the formula of 1 upon R2 directly by understanding the symmetry, which can be written as, or which can be obtained as, to be equal to 1 upon R minus A cos theta upon R square. Now, these values of 1 upon R1 and 1 upon R2, when I will be substituting in equation number 1, I will get in equation 1, I will get the value of V to be equal to Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This is the value of 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. Since 1 upon R and this 1 upon R, here this 1 upon R is with positive sign, here with negative sign. So these terms are cancelled out, and after solving it, we will get 2A cos theta upon R square. Now here the product of Q and 2A is giving us the value of the dipole moment. So further I can write this term as P cos theta upon 4 pi epsilon naught into R square. So this is the formula for the potential at any of the point P which is making an angle theta with the dipole, or the position vector is making an angle theta with the dipole moment. If P is on axial line, the potential formula is, or theta is equal to 0, and the potential is P upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square. And if P is at on equatorial line, the angle theta is equal to 90 degree. So the value of the potential due to the dipole at that point will be equal to 0. Let us now study about the potential energy of a system of charges. We will be deriving the formula for the two cases here. The first one, we will be discussing about the formula of potential energy in a system of two charges, and then the formula of potential energy in a system of three charges. So coming to the first case, here there are two charges Q1 and Q2. We are assuming them to be kept at infinity. Now, when the work is done to bring the charge from infinity, this distance is infinity, from infinity to a point A. In that case, there will not be any work done when the charge is brought from infinity to a particular point A. The reason is that around A there is no other charge present in whose electric field we are bringing and keeping this charge Q1. As we know that the formula for the work done is given as Q into V, or even I can say the potential energy is given by the formula by the product of the charge multiplied by the potential. So, there is no work done when the charge Q1 is brought from infinity to any of the point A. Next, when we have to bring the charge Q2 from infinity to a certain point, let us take that point to be B. In order to bring this charge Q2 at point B, the point B is at a finite distance r from point A, where already the Q1 charge is being placed. So that is why in the complete system of the two charges, if I will be using the formula for the work done, that is W1 plus W2, representing the work done to bring the charge Q1, and W2 is representing the work done to bring the charge Q2. So in this case, W1 is coming out to be 0, and the formula for W2 can be given as the charge which is to be brought, that is Q2, multiplied by the potential at B. This potential at B is calculated due to the charge Q1. So, potential at B due to Q1. When the formula is written for this complete work done, I will get the formula to be, the formula for potential we are knowing that it is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 upon R, where the potential is calculated at distance R from the charge Q1. So ultimately the formula for the work done or the formula for the potential energy for the system of two charges will come out to be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R. Coming to the next case where we have to study the potential energy in a system of 3 charges. Now in this case, again we are keeping the 2 charges Q1 and Q2 at infinity, and from infinity we are supposed to bring the charge Q1 at point A and the charge Q2 at point B. Now these 2 points A and B, they are at a finite distance from the third charge, which is kept here already near to the 2 points A and B. Also we can say that the 2 points A and B, where we are supposed to bring the charges respectively Q1 and Q2, they are at a finite distance from a charge which is taken as Q3. Let us take the distance of Q3 from A to be R13 and the distance of Q3 from B to be R23. Also, the distance between A and B can be taken as R12. Now, the work done in this case will be equal to the sum of the work done to carry both the charges and is written as W1 plus W2. Coming to the diagram, now when we will be bringing the charge Q1 from infinity to the point A. Now here this is the position of Q1. Now when Q1 is placed at point A, so this Q1 is kept at a finite distance of R13 from the charge Q3, which was already present here in this given system. So in this case, the formula for W1 or U1, where U1 is representing the potential energy, is given by the formula Q1 multiplied by the potential due to Q3. Then when we are talking about the work done to bring the charge Q2 at point B. So when Q2 from here will be shifted or will be kept at point B, at that time this Q2 will be at a distance of R12 from the charge Q1 and it will be at a distance of R23 from the charge Q3. So, in order to calculate the value of W2, or even it can be written as U2, this will be given by the formula the product of Q2 multiplied by the potential due to the Q3 charge plus the product of Q2 multiplied by the potential of the Q1 charge. Now, when we will be adding these two equations 1 and 2 in order to get the total potential energy of the system, so from these terms I will be getting the complete or the total potential energy to be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. The equation 1 will be giving me the charges Q1 and Q3 in the numerator and the distance between them, that is R13 in the denominator. When we will look at the term Q2 into potential due to the charge Q3, I will get the product of Q2 and Q3 in the numerator and the distance between them as R23 in the denominator. For the third term in the formula, we will get the product of Q1 and Q2 in the numerator and in the denominator we will get the distance between Q1 and Q2, which is taken as R12. So after understanding the three terms, we will be getting the term 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, that is the constant 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught common in all these three terms, which can be taken outside the bracket. So from the first equation, my first term I can write it as Q1 Q3 upon R13. From the second equation's first term, I can write Q2 Q3 upon R23, and this term I will be getting as Q1 Q2 upon R12. So this way I am getting the complete formula for the potential energy in a system containing the three charges. Thank you all for watching this video.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more.